is risen.
That's because you annihilated me in Pascha. Ready?
Christ is risen.
Christ is risen. It is risen.
Yeah,
I have the champion egg.
That was good. Mine actually busted a little bit. It's sad. It's sad. It's so sad it split open. It exploded.
Sorry, not sorry.
Hello and welcome to Matryoshka Me. Yay. Wow, that's been a while.
It has.
This is officially our. Well, it would have been Holy Week, but we didn't decide not to do something for Holy Week, and would have been Pascha, but we also were recovering from Pascha. Yeah. There's a saying that goes around on Holy Pascha: Christ is risen, the priest is dead.
That's right.
I don't know if I'm supposed to repeat that as a priest, but that's true. I mean, I might have said it at church as well.
I think so.
I didn't come up with it. So, in all fairness, I didn't create it. I'm just sharing the love. So that's it's also our Pascha video.
Love and dead in the same sentence. I don't know.
Christ is risen from the dead, trampling down death by death, and upon those All right. So these are our part of our Pascha tradition because this is our Bright Week video and. Today was Radonitsa, the day of rejoicing. So it's also that video as well.
Yay.
All right, all in one, rolled into one.
Much rejoicing today.
We're not too lazy to make another video. We could have made a bunch of other ones, but it's also too hot to have this happen. And it's okay because this is how my hair looked all day long. So
I guess this is what my hair looks like all day long.
It's really too hot for this vest, but it's a very cool vest, and so I'm going to wear it. I'm going to keep wearing it.
Fashion or
function. So these are red Paschal eggs, and even though we celebrated Pascha over a week ago, we're still eating Pascha food because I might have made 9 pounds of Pascha cheese.
And we took it to church.
I took it to church twice. 3 times. 3 times actually.
Although
it
was very good.
Yeah, and I made 2 different types. If you make Paschal foods, traditional Pascha foods, besides things like, I don't know, sausage, barbecue wings, chicken nuggets, macaroni and cheese, ice cream, milkshakes. Aside from those glorious things, if you make the Paschal foods that some people make, like we do, and of course in the Baldwin household, everything is
champion egg.
Everything is just festive.
Over the top.
Right. So one of those is these beautiful tradition of having the red Pascha egg.
And mine is the champion.
Yes, here's the champion today. And so on Holy Pascha, one of the traditions is you have the red Pascha eggs, and you crack the eggs saying Christ is risen. The red eggs are a sign of the resurrection, right? And new life as well. Right. And there's a story associated with Mary Magdalene coming from the early church about the miracle of the red eggs. I'm not going to give you a big, long exposition on that. You should go read it if you don't know it. All right? Red eggs are not what Pascha is about. Pascha is about the resurrection, but it's part of the tradition. Now, what I did want to show off is this beauty. You see this beautiful red egg we have here? It was a brown egg. And you know what? These are some beautiful red eggs that come from church as well, right? But look at the difference between the two, right? Ours is almost crimson purple. This one is a nice, beautiful red egg. Red flowers in the back there, right? And also a Paschal cheese mold right there. That's red, so just for color comparison. These are a deep crimson red, and they come from, believe it or not, yellow onion skins. Mm-hmm. Yellow onion skins and vinegar. So every year, one of our traditions leading up to Holy Pascha is we start saving onion skins. Matushka, you said it started when?
It's usually like a month before Pascha.
Yeah,
but that's
like
because we eat a lot of onions in our house.
Mm-hmm. If you don't eat a lot of onions, then you're probably going to have to do more.
You're going to probably have to do more.
So really, that little outer skin that you throw away and put in the trash, we save those. Mm-hmm. We put them in a little trash bag. They're already dried out. They're not going to rot or anything as long as they don't get wet. Yep. And then we get enough of those. We put them into a pot and we boil them. I think we mentioned that in one of our videos as well.
Yeah, we did.
Right? So this is the end product here. This beautiful. Yay, that's your face.
That's
sorry.
My face.
Yeah, the beautiful red. you got to peel it first. Beautiful red eggs. All right. Some of the other delicious, tasty Paschal foods that we have is
a little plate.
Yeah, a little plate here. Speaking of the Pascha cheese, we have one of our former parishioners in one of the places we serve. You can't really see very good. It's it's
bright.
Paschal bright white.
It's
this
very
is
holy.
Here. This is a Pascha cheese that's made with almonds and also golden raisins and cottage cheese. Right? It's a big, and then big thick.
Cheese, right.
We put it in a mold and it becomes thick. The whey drips out. This is the Pascha cheese that I originally make. I started making this a couple of years back after we got a recipe from a beloved former parishioner of ours.
Yay.
This is an old recipe that I've been using for, probably a decade.
At least.
And it uses something called farmer's cheese. Now, sometimes people think of farmer's cheese as more like a provolone kind of cheese. That's not the kind of farmer's cheese I'm talking about. Farmer's cheese is an old style, I think, more of a European style cheese. It looks like tiny, tiny, tiny pieces of ricotta or cottage cheese.
Right. It's soft.
Yeah, it's really soft. And in fact, I made it. I made like 6 pounds of farmer's cheese this year. I took a gallon of milk and I boiled. I put it on medium-low heat until all the bubbles came out. It was about 45 minutes, and then I took it. I didn't really boil it. I took it.
You don't want to do
and I put in like a fourth a cup of lemon juice. Now you can use lemon juice or you can use vinegar. If you want a more neutral taste, I would say use vinegar. If you don't mind your Pascha cheese having a delicious, bright, lemony zest to it, then use fresh squeezed lemon juice. It does the job really well. So you put that lemon juice in there and let it come up to room temperature, and the milk solids separate out from the whey, and you just kind of put a cheesecloth in a colander and collect your little cheese curds, basically, and squeeze that out. And anyways, that's farmer's cheese, more or less. All right. So that. And both of these have things like butter and whipped cream, sugar, vanilla, things like that inside. Although this one is really great, the one with the raisins, because it includes 3 whole hard-boiled eggs that have been shredded, grated really fine. The yolk and the white together. So that really good.
Which makes it have a little more yellowy.
Yeah, it's a little more yellowy tinge, but it's.
I don't know. You can't really tell in the video.
Yeah. So, anyways, and then finally we have our Pascha bread, which is kind of like a brioche style bread. You bake it. It's enormous. It's tall. It's got raisins, sugar.
Wait, which side? This side. I can't do that side. It goes in that pan.
No, just grab the pan. So here's some of the things that we use when we're making our Pascha foods. This is a coffee can. It had coffee in it once. This thing is probably a decade old as well. I've been using it faithfully every single year. This is what we, believe it or not, what we bake our Pascha bread in, and it gets this big. It's kind of hard to. Let's see. Put it next to our heads here. This is how big this sucker is. It's as big as our head.
That's when it comes out.
And so it takes about 2.5 hours to bake the whole bread. You just put it in there, make the dough. You don't even have to knead it down or let it rise or anything. You just make the dough, put it in there, and it poops up, right? That huge loaf. All right?
Let me put that back.
Yeah, that's part of our Pascha.
You want the flower pot?
Baking. Yeah, the flower pot's next. So one of the things that we use for draining out for the Pascha cheese is a flower pot. Now, I know what you're thinking. What? This flower pot never had flowers or dirt or anything in it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. It's cleaned.
I remember purchasing this at Lowe's. And Father was like, you need to go get a flower pot for our Pascha cheese.
Clay one.
What?
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
So you put your cheesecloth down in there, and when you've got all the stuff mixed together for the Pascha cheese, you put it in there, and you fold over the cheesecloth. You put like a plate or something on there, and you put a weight on top. I used about 20 pounds. Distributed in half because I had both Pascha cheese draining at the same time, so it was about 10 pounds. And you know what happens is the whey just comes out the bottom there. It's actually perfect.
It's perfect,
Now, we actually have a couple of other Pascha cheese molds that we've used historically. This one I found actually when I was at seminary. It was abandoned. It's a wooden mold, beautiful wooden mold.
Yeah.
And so I reconstructed it.
Yeah, it's got stuff on the inside.
And it's got the cross and the Christos voskrese. On the inside, Christ is risen.
So when you make the cheese, it'll actually
makes the impression.
Yeah,
and then we have finally the smaller one that we've used. Since we make a lot of Pascha cheese, we kind of use bigger molds. This is a smaller mold for if you're going to make like, I don't know, like a pound. This would be gone in a day. Be gone in a day. Bright Monday, we'd be out of Pascha cheese. No good. All right, but it's really cool. I did one year.
We did.
I did one year cut some cardboard and plastic and stuff and like make it twice the size. And I mean, it was a disaster. Don't do that.
That's why we did.
This is made for a tiny amount of Pascha cheese. Perfect if you're going to make a tiny amount.
Yes.
I never do. Yeah. So, but it's wonderful. I mean, it's got the cross on it. It's got Christos voskreσε. You can buy these at online at Orthodox stores.
On the inside there.
So those are some of the things that we do. I really wish that I could share with you one of our beloved Pascha traditions, but we ate it all. Which is Hrudka. Hrudka is, I've tried over the years to explain it to people. Essentially, it's like a boiled custard that you hang up and it firms up. And it looks like a giant ball. Mm-hmm. It's got milk, eggs, sugar, vanilla.
It's a very sweet.
It's like a Swedish
egg.
But people always go like, that sounds disgusting, sugary eggs. But I mean,
it's really good.
If you've grown up with egg custard pie, it's essentially
like that,
egg custard, but without the crust, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
I guess that's why it's gone. It's so good.
Yeah, and even though people call it an egg cheese, the reason they usually call it like an egg cheese is because it's in a ball shape, and then when you go cut it, you cut it in slices, so it kind of looks like cheese. Mm-hmm. So we eat the hrudka on top of the Pascha bread with some Pascha cheese, and we usually eat with a slice of ham because we put it in our Pascha basket too. I mean, we ate all the ham already. I can't show you the ham. Yeah. Sorry. All the meat and stuff we already ate. I mean, it's been a week. We ate everything.
Sausage is gone.
Yeah, sausage is gone. So now we're just down to the Pascha cheese, the eggs, and the bread. But we're almost out of that. So those are some of our Paschal traditions in our Pascha basket. And then, of course, the boys like all kinds of other stuff. Like they like their candies and stuff like that. Yeah.
chocolate
stuff. Yeah. So, what do you think is your favorite, Matushka?
For Pascha food?
Yeah.
That's really hard because I really like your Pascha cheese, and I really like the Hrudka. That goes really. Although I really enjoy eating meat after a long time of not eating meat too. So all just very hard. We
usually stick in something extra. This year we had lamb. We actually had some lamb sliced in there. Over the years we've tried to incorporate things like bison or buffalo or deer or something like that. In the form of a meatball or hamburger or something like that. Yeah. One year we took a bunch of meat and we rolled into a ball, grilled it on a electric grill, and then wrapped it in bacon and then put it in the oven. It was good, but I mean that was crazy.
It was a little much.
Yeah. So and then the thing is that I actually have a bunch of Pascha recipes. Look, I mean they're so old that they're like really messy. They've got stuff all over them. But this is like our
master.
Our master. One year I thought I lost them.
I was gonna say.
Whoa, that was a rough 30 minutes. It was a rough 30 minutes.
I know we need to make.
I actually have some backups. I have like 6 backups. I've emailed myself the recipes. I've saved them in multiple places. I have these printed out. You would think by now it would be smart enough to have laminated them.
That would make sense.
We even have a laminator.
We have a recipe book too. I could just throw them in there.
Yeah, that's true. That would only make too much sense, actually. So we've got our Pascha bread, our red egg recipe, how to make the dye for red egg, Hrudka, Pascha cheese. Yeah, it's all there. So
it's there.
It's all there. Thank God. Well, this was an interesting week for us because we found a lot of stuff around our own property here. We found this is the time of year where a lot of things start to bloom and flower. So we found wild strawberries, although they're mock strawberries.
They're not real.
We have wild plums, which is great. Although they're Chickasaw plums, so they're a little tough. They're small. They're a little tart, but they can be made into jam and jelly. Mm-hmm. Also, we found some wild garlic. That was very exciting.
That was very exciting.
We already knew that we had wild grapes. Like I'm not sure if they're muscadines or not.
I was gonna say, I don't
but they
know
look like
what
they're gonna fruit this year.
Yeah.
And then the real shocker was we found a blueberry bush that's loaded. We've gotten a lot of rain here, so
There's
it's loaded.
tons of green little berries right now.
Yeah.
So.
In addition to that, at some point, someone planted these beautiful flowers back here. You move this way. No, the other way.
Yeah.
The other way. Sorry. These beautiful red flowers here.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to botch the name because I'm not, but I think they're called amaryllis flowers. They look like lilies. I thought they were lilies. They're not.
I thought they were lilies too.
Well, the ones behind are the lilies.
Those are lilies.
That's what I got Matryoshka for Mother's Day.
Yay.
So, lilies. But the amaryllis are beautiful, but they were growing out in our yard. So
but something very interesting about those is they look like lilies, but the stems are they're hollow.
Yes.
So you can literally put like stuff in the stems. It's very strange. I've never seen another plant like that. Or a flower, I guess, like that. So hollow.
Of course, stems. We don't really know a lot about flowers, so.
Growing up in Arizona, I don't know a lot about flowers. I know a lot about cacti.
Yeah.
And desert plants. But flowers, I'm getting there though. I'm getting there.
Well, we were hoping that we would get some submissions for our little giveaway, but unfortunately we did not. So I guess we will just have to save it for another time. But we were excited for that. I realize that this time of year is the time of year when people are recovering. They're going into Holy Week. They're also going to Pascha and recovering. We get it. That's us too. But we were kind of hoping that we would get maybe one or two at least. So that's okay.
It's okay.
That's okay. We'll save it for another time. Yeah.
I guess we might have to do a sweepstakes instead of
Not that I can remember that there's a difference between a sweepstakes and a giveaway. Anyways, I can't even get it through my own head.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it was a good couple of weeks for us. Although I feel like we have run a marathon. It was really not just Holy Week, not just Pascha, but also Bright Week leading up to today. Whew! It has been wow. We were serving. It was a huge blessing to be able to serve services with Father Paul Yerger and Clinton for some of the Holy Week services. Were wonderful. It was just such a blessing, and I know there's a lot of great things that we do during Holy Week, but one of the things that was just such a great joy was for Holy Friday when they take the Apotaphios around for the procession. At the church there, they actually have a graveyard next door, and so when they do the procession, they go through the graveyard, and the graves of the Orthodox that are there are illumined with light, and that was just such a beautiful. I mean, that was really, I'm telling you, that was otherworldly for me. I imagine that some people are kind of skittish about going into a graveyard. I don't know. I guess maybe because I grew up so close to New Orleans that for me, graveyards were never really a thing that were creepy. I mean, actually, if you've been to New Orleans, you've seen the graveyards down there. I mean, they're really beautiful, mausoleum type above ground tombs. So I've always, for me, they've been kind of an endearing. I mean, they're very nice, beautiful graves there. So I kind of grew up around that. So I don't really think of it creepy or anything like that. But also,
I guess I watched too much Scooby-Doo growing up.
Also, when we were in seminary at St. Tikhon's, I mean, the seminary monastery graveyard there is, it's so beautiful. That was in some ways a highlight, even though I enjoyed all the services and, the company of all the wonderful people there at Holy Resurrection. Of course, the indomitable Father Paul Yerger, it's always a joy to be with him. So that was a highlight of the Holy Week. And we also served in two of our missions. Holy Saturday was beautiful. Since I can't serve at all the missions that I'm, for everything, I mean, it's kind of hard. How do you divide up your time between 4 different locations? It's kind of impossible. But we did our best, So we had a blessing of the baskets on Holy Saturday after liturgy because that was what I could do. And then we headed down to our other missions, celebrated Holy Pascha and Agape Vespers. And, it was really great, the Agape Vespers. I really love Agape Vespers. One of my things that I enjoy about Agape Vespers is reading the gospel in multiple language, and I was surprised. I was very surprised with what we came up with. I knew we would have multiple languages because we have quite a few people in the mission there that can speak several languages. But I was really surprised at the selections that we had. We had, of course, English. We had Slavonic, Spanish, French, German, Serbian, and Welsh,
and Latin.
Yeah. So that was, I thought, was really something. Yeah, it was great. I've in the past I've heard other languages, and one of the missions we were at, we also were treated to Urdu. and Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese.
So that was great as well. Right. It was wonderful. So as many languages as possible, I think are really wonderful when you read at the Gospels at Agape Vespers. So I really enjoyed that. And then, of course, during the Bright Week, I was blessed to be able to serve in the missions, one of the missions for Vespers on Bright Wednesday. Bright Week services are wonderful, and I look forward to a time in my priesthood when I can serve even more services. Well, there's so many great things. We can't, our Paschal festivities aren't just one day, but the entire week. That entire week. We have a little customs throughout the entire week, and so I look forward to the time when that we're able to do that. And being at St. Tikhon's when we were at seminary there, it was so wonderful to be able to be a part of all those services and regular services, and especially feast day services. So I really miss that. I realize it's kind of hard, but it's goals. We've got some goals in life. To get to that point,
some 10-year plan.
8 years into a 10-year plan. We're already 8 years into that 10-year plan, so just saying. And then today normally would be an extra special day. As I mentioned, at Holy Resurrection, they have a cemetery there. Well, today, on the calendar, we celebrate the Day of Rejoicing, or Radonitsa, and traditionally, Orthodox Christians in many countries would go to the cemetery and visit the graves of their loved ones during this day. It's kind of like although I want to be a little careful, because I know this makes people a little bit uneasy when we make comparisons, but, if you've ever heard of Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, or Halloween, All Hallows Eve. These are actually historical days when people went to the cemetery and visited the graves of their departed loved ones, right? Now, we have many days on the calendar in the Orthodox Church when we have memorials and we remember those who have departed. But today, the Day of Rejoicing is a special day that's been set aside traditionally in the Church for, like I said, something like visiting the graves of your departed loved ones. And in some countries, they have a beautiful tradition where not do they just go and visit the graves and leave flowers, also maybe, Paschal eggs and things like that. But also, they would, as a family, people would sit down and have a meal together. Oftentimes right in the cemetery. I know that sounds strange to some people. Some of you watching might think that's just really, really weird. Why would you eat food in a cemetery? But I think this comes from a time when people were not unfamiliar with death. Now we put so many, I think, psychological things in between us and death, where it seems strange not to have a meal and break bread in a cemetery, but it also seems strange to want to go and visit in a cemetery. And in fact, it wasn't that long ago in the United States when people would do something like that. We just kind of maybe lost that sensibility. So just to let you know, even though we might have lost it in America, certainly our church has not lost that sensibility. It's on the calendar. It's liturgical. And I think another thing that's really important to remember is that it's part of Pascha. You see, even though Pascha, we celebrate it on Pascha Sunday, and it continues for the rest of the week, we really are still in the Paschal season until the Ascension. Right? So we continue with that Paschal festivity. We still are singing Christ is risen. We're still saying Christ is risen at church. It's not the same festiveness that we're celebrating Holy Pascha and Bright Week, but we still have that festiveness until the Ascension, until liturgically the Lord has gone up, right? As we read.
So technically what you're saying is we should extend our giveaway since we're still celebrating Pascha, kind of, right? Is that what you're saying?
I am saying that. Yes, we'll extend our giveaway.
You have another chance.
You have another chance. Several more weeks. So what we would like for you to do still, make a recording. It doesn't have to be a video. It can just be an audio recording.
That's right.
Send it to the email that we're going to provide in the description below.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Either say Christ is risen. You can do whatever kind of Paschal thing you like. Shine, shine, O New Jerusalem. There's so many things you could do.
Yep.
Do that. Even just saying Christ is risen. You could say Christ is risen in like 50 languages. That's fine. 10 would be fine. 3 would be fine.
Or 1.
Or 1. It's really great. Although, the thing is, we're not going to be judging it. So,
that's right.
Whoever submits these entries, we already said we're not going to judge it. We're going to let our kids listen to these and say which one they think is the best. And so luckily we have an odd number of children that are voting. So the chances of it being a tie are not good. Not good. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the baby can't really vote, can he?
Right. So
poor guy. So you have, we'll say up until Ascension?
Yeah, let's extend it. And then we can make like another video where we just like really press it. But seriously, so you do that, and then we'll have our kids pick a winner, and then, well, like I said, we will in the last video. It'll be like something really great, like a T-shirt, or something to that effect, Or if you haven't got a Matryoshka Me mug as well, you could be mug. You can drink your coffee or whatever in there. It's curious because it's like we have the Matryoshka Me mug. Sometimes we have it in our videos,
That's
but
right.
I didn't really want to make Matryoshka Me about coffee cups. I was in the coffee industry for a long time. I love coffee. I drink a lot of coffee, but I just didn't. I don't think that it's appropriate to really make podcasts about coffee especially if coffee's not in your title. But I think the world has enough clergy out there giving bad advice, so we don't need another one with mugs or something and coffee giving bad advice to people. What we want to do is something fun, like this giveaway.
That's right.
So, but if you want a coffee cup, get your submission in. All right. So I'll leave you with one last thing. This is another one of this is my second favorite type of egg. Notice how I've very keenly unbranded it because I don't want to get in trouble. But it's a delicious egg. This is a candy egg. So, that's my favorite.
Oh.
Well, second favorite.
We got some cream in the middle there. It's the cream ones this time. Ooh.
It's candy.
Candy. Yes, candy.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode. Get those submissions in.
Yes.
Drop us a line. Also, comment, subscribe, like, share our videos.
Yes.
Point people to the website. Email us. We talk to.
You guys have lots of homework here. Sorry.
We correspond for email as well. So we'd like to hear about your Pascha traditions.
Yes.
Even if you don't make Pascha cheese, even if you don't make Pascha bread, even if you don't make red eggs, it'd be nice to hear. Obviously, before we did these traditions, we didn't have any, so we picked them up. So, we're interested even for our own sake. Maybe we're adding something else to the Pascha basket next year.
That's right.
If you have any questions about how we make some of this Pascha food, I'd be happy to share with you.
Yes.
Maybe in the future videos, like I promised, we'll actually give you a recipe. I have been promising that for a really long time.
You really have.
Since January. So long. This is like going to be video 8.
Okay, well, we know.
Yeah, but seriously, drop us a line and send us an email. And I'm happy to share that with you. All right, we'll close with saying Christ is risen in as many languages as we can. Christ is risen.
Indeed, he is risen.
Christos ănέστη. Christos voskresie.
Christos voskresie.
Ănέστη kam.
Ănésτη kam.
Christe აღსდგა. ჭეშმარიტად აღსდგა.
That's a new one this year.
Cristo verstanden. I don't know. We need a German speaker, and I probably didn't even say that right.
Verstanden. Something like that.
Cristo Jaro. Ebo Jaro.
I don't remember that one. Ebo
Yeah, almost. I think it's Cristo Anviat. Anviat. That might be wrong. Well, we try. All right. Christ is risen.
Indeed, he is risen.
God bless you.